what people want today are experiences. And that's where economic value is being created today. Let me demonstrate that with a simple experience that all of you are familiar with. Generally, you have this experience about once a year, and it's a birthday party. Think about the birthday party. When I was growing up, I remember my 10th birthday party most in particular because I spent my 10th birthday in Stanford University Hospital. I lived in Palo Alto at the time, and I had broken my thigh clear through playing flag football, and I was in traction for 6 weeks. And in the middle of that was my 10th birthday. And back then, birthdays that ended with 0 were a pretty big deal. Now you tend to want to forget them. But I remember when I woke up that morning, I think, wow, it's my birthday today. And the nurses came in and never said anything. Doctors came in, never said anything. And I'm sure that that birthday was on that medical record, right? It had to have been right there. But nobody acknowledged my birthday until finally at lunch. My mother actually worked at the Stanford Library, and she got off of work, she came in, and she opened the door. She was carrying this birthday cake with 10 candles in it, all lit, and sang happy birthday to me. Right? Then all was right with the world again. Now, if you think about that, when my mom baked that cake for me, she baked it from what? From scratch. Right? What does from scratch mean? Well, it means she actually touched commodities. She got out the flour and the butter and the sugar and the eggs and the milk and actually I have no idea what goes into a birthday cake, but all this stuff is what she got out. Now, if you think about how much stuff is in a birthday cake and you add it all up, you know how much this stuff is worth? About 20 or 30 cents. That's how much a birthday cake is worth when you make it from scratch, when you treat it as a commodity. But along came manufacturers like Duncan Hines and Betty Crocker, and they took that same stuff and they mixed it together, packaged it, put it on a grocery store shelf. Now you buy the manufactured goods, and how much does the goods cost? $2 or $3 a piece. So you're paying $5 or $6 for a manufactured birthday cake that you make. Of course, when you buy the manufactured goods, the quality of the cake tends to suffer. For some people, the quality of the cake actually goes up. I'm not going to tell you which one my mom was. But now what happens is that moms everywhere have gone back to work. We're more and more time-starved, and we don't have time to bake the cake anymore. So what do? Right? We buy it. We call up the grocery store or the corner bakery, and we ask them to perform this service of actually baking the cake for us. Now, how much does this cake cost? Right? $10, $15, $20 for a birthday cake as a service. An order of magnitude more than the goods, an order of magnitude more than the commodities. But now what happens is we're so time-starved that not only don't we have time to bake the cake, we don't have time to throw the party anymore. So what do? We outsource it. And where do we go? Chuck E. Cheese's. And we ask them to stage the birthday party experience for our kids. I remember when my daughter Elizabeth turned 7. We still lived in Connecticut at the time. And we took her and 14 of her closest friends and went to this place called the New Pond Farm in Redding, Connecticut. And there, all the kids got to brush the cows and pet the sheep. They got to feed the chickens. They went on this hayride. When they got back from the hayride, they took turns taking apples out of a basket, putting this bin, and then cranking it. And then they drank the apple cider that they made themselves. Today, so divorced are we from the agrarian economy that just being on a farm is now an experience. And I remember when the party was over, I saw my wife pick up her purse and get out her checkbook, and I went over and asked her. I said, well, how much did this place cost? She said, $147, not including the cake. So now we're spending $100, $150, $200 or more dollars for a birthday party experience, at the core of which is a birthday cake with only 20 or 30 cents worth of stuff in it. The question is, which business would you like to be in?